Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Wakwak, double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to my Ak and Wakwafim who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this punk captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with a lesson. Today's lesson, I'm going to get into this video over here, which I'm not going to play it, but you can, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can watch it yourself. Basically, what happens is that the dude was lying. This guy over here in the video that the brother is reacting to, the dude in the video of the video is lying and saying stuff like the first sin was created in heaven, which I don't know what is that supposed to mean? Like, what is that? Is he trying to imply that angels sin or God's sin or whatever? Like, I don't know, because this is starting to get into blasphemous territory. But the main thing that I'm trying to, trying to convey is,
anyways, let's listen real quick.
Family, the first sin ever committed was not in the Garden of Eden.
Now, this is what we want to deal with in this video. Bring it back.
Well, that's even right.
The first sin ever committed was not in the Garden of Eden.
Well, that's even right there. Boom. That's strike one. He said the first sin that was committed was not in the Garden of Eden. You see,
What is sin?
a snake came slithering down a tree. That's another thing. But anyway,
That's what they believe.
whatever. I'm just going to continue on. Anyway, as I said before, you're going to have people that are, Slakia, the main point of me making this video, this lesson, is to address this whole thing about different people basically lying on the Bible and making shit up as they go along. I'm trying to find this one thing specifically. Where the frick is it? In Ephesians chapter 4 verse 14, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And this is basically an example of that. You have this this Christian who's lying on the Bible, saying something that is objectively false, okay, which they went and proved it. This brother went and proved it in this video. You can go watch it because I'm not going to repeat the information. Definitely, that's some more information you can go check yourself. But my main thing that I'm trying to get at is that this is not a common occurrence. This is not a common thing. Well, this is not an uncommon thing, Slakia. This is a common thing because there are many people that will lie and say a whole bunch of different things. A whole bunch of say, there is Lilith in the Bible. Oh, there is Lilith as in Adam's second wife, when the Bible does not say that. There is no fallen angels and all that stuff like that. There's all these different things that people say, but the Bible does not substantiate, and the Bible literally does not make mention of this type of these things. Okay, and now another key thing to remember is that in general, when you hear these types of stuff, you should be able to tell, okay, they are just wrong, they're talking out of their ass, because you should be able to know, okay, the Bible does not say that. Or if anything, you should tell them, okay, well, show me a book chapter verse where it says that, so that you can actually go and do the research on your own. But in terms of the specifics of what I just mentioned, like the first sin and stuff like that, not first sin, what's it called? He already showed how that there's no first sin and stuff like that. But anyway, the main thing is the first. Well, not the first. What the fuck did I just say? I said Lilith and fallen angel. Okay, the Bible does not show it or suggest that. All right. Anyway, continuing on. as I was saying, well, actually, first, no, I'm not gonna go into it. Anyway, basically, Romans chapter 16, verse 18, for they that are such serve not our Lord Yahawashi and Mashiach, but their own bellies, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. And this is this is one of these examples where you have this dude who's talking just he's making this shit up as he goes on, no referencing to the Bible, and this is why it's very important for someone like me, okay, that when I go into stuff like this, all right, when I go into stuff like this, I show evidence, I substantiate my claims, I substantiate the things that I'm saying, that I make sure that the Bible is speaking rather than I am speaking through my own belly, because this is what the scriptures are literally saying. Okay, so I'm literally showing you an example of someone literally just talking out of their ass, and they're not backing their claims with scriptural evidence. All right, now one of the things I was demonstrating was how most people are being led astray by every wind of doctrine. All right, this is an example of that, with this guy having a big congregation. Okay, John chapter 4 verse 22, ye worship ye know not what we know, what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. And this is another example where you have Christianity in general, which they claim to say, oh, we love Jesus, we love this, we love God, blah blah blah, but in actuality they don't know what the Bible says. They claim to follow the Bible, but the Bible does not support. Okay, as a matter of fact, it goes against what they believe. They don't live according to the word of Yahawadah, SHAMAIWAN. All right, so they don't know what they're worshiping. They are confused. All right, continuing on, Matthew chapter 13 verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And this is where understanding the intricacies, exactly what the Bible says, what all these little minor details mean and stuff like that, as well as the dark sayings that are actually in the scriptures that they are not able to properly understand. Okay, that's why a lot of the parables they just think that it's just, oh, like he was just saying something, but they don't actually understand like what's the actual meaning behind that. What was the purpose of him speaking that? When Yahawashi even said here, okay, he's not even here. He spoke in parables because he did not want every single body to get. He only wants the elect to get the truth, to get what he's saying. Over here, Matthew 13 verse 9, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? And Yahawashi answered in verse 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Going to show the exclusivity in how he does not want everybody to hear these words. He does not want everyone to do it, because he would have made it in a clear and concise way of, hey, don't do X, Y, and Z, don't do this, that, and the third, or whatnot, rather than speaking in parables for only his elect to understand what he meant, and all the little details in his word. Okay, so continuing on, Job chapter 12 verse 16, with him in his strength and wisdom, and the deceiver are his. And people like this guy, this pastor, okay, he is deceiving the people, and the Lord set these people up to deceive these people. All right, the Lord set up the deceiver and the deceived. All right, YAHAWAH, by the way. Anyway, Yahawah, 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 3, for the time is come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. And these are the types of teachers that these people want to hear, because they want to hear people say, "Oh, you're not allowed to," or Slakia, you are allowed to eat pork, for example. You are allowed to, kill people. You're allowed to, whatever that goes against the scriptures. Basically, those are just examples that came up to my head. Maybe there's some other stuff that you might not. Maybe there are some other better examples, but I can't think of it at the moment. So yeah, people, they don't want to hear exactly what the Lord said. They don't want to hear that they're not allowed to do certain things. They don't want to be properly governed or led in the right path. They don't want to be restricted in the things that they can do. Okay, they want to just say, okay, well, you can go be a demon, you can go do whatever you want, rather than a proper authoritative figure telling you, hey, this is exactly what the scriptures say. This is the X, Y, and Z about it. All right, the ABCs of it. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And basically, for those people that are lying and who are leading the people astray, this destruction is what's left for them. Now, let me also get this. It is Revelation chapter 20, verse 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Where's the other one? Verse 18, Slakia, I should have started at verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. Verse 19, and if any man shall take away from these words of the book of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. And you basically, those that are adding on to the Lord's word, and those that are taking away from the Lord's word, trying to say, oh, you don't actually have to stop eating pork, or you don't have saying, oh, you can actually eat pork if you do X, Y, and Z and stuff like that, trying to make exceptions to do wickedness, or to say that the restrictions are not applicable for X, Y, and Z and whatnot. You can do whatever you want. You can actually do whatever you want. You're going to have people that are going to be like that, and you need to be able to acknowledge that if you are partaking in this type of stuff, they're going to, number one, they're going to meet to their destruction, and for you, you're also going to meet destruction for following after those wicked. Okay, now also, 1 John chapter 4 verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. So basically, you try the spirits through the scriptures. Does the scriptures actually substantiate? And this is why you have to actually do your own research, which so many people are so lazy and are incapable of searching the scriptures or doing research in general about, is this actually a reliable source of information? Is this person citing their sources and whatnot? Even when I make this a lesson like this, I am citing my source. I'm showing you where in the scriptures the Lord said X, Y, and Z, so that you can understand that I'm not speaking of my own lust or my own words, but I'm showing you exactly where the scriptures say it. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20, to the law and to the prophecy, Isaiah 8 verse 20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And you have people like this specifically, who's speaking against the law, speaking against the truth, okay, and are misleading the people. All right. Acts chapter 17 verse 11, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so, which is another thing where you are considered noble, by the way, for constantly studying, constantly making sure that, okay, you know what, I know exactly what the scriptures say, I know, so that I'm not going to be led astray or manipulated by anybody. All right, next, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So once again, is going back into the essential need for studying and being knowledgeable on what YAHAWASHI said to do, rather than being a slacker and thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to believe any person because I like them, you know, I like the way they speak, which was actually, funnily enough, that was what this one woman had said in this one video, which I'm going to get, I think this is it. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. I think it is. No, this is not it, Slocky. Bear with me one moment. It was yeah, here. This one woman had said
that, you know.
Okay, here. Let me.
Told me already on me, which okay, so finally that I have a big enough audience, I want to ask a serious question. I need people to give me real answers. So one of my favorite prophets, Tomi Arayomi, which I do believe he's a prophet, just made a video addressing the issue of basically people saying that the Jews over there in Israel is not the true Jews, that, you know, they're not the real true Jews, the chosen people, whatever. And he's basically defending them. And I don't have a problem with that. Everybody can believe what they want, fine. But I just have a really hard time believing that they are, because
oh yeah, that's enough. Okay, anyway, basically you hear her complaining, saying that she thinks that this dude X person is a prophet, but she doesn't agree with his understanding for prophecy because there's no evidence that supports that claim. So right then and there, that's a perfect example of respecting someone only because you like them as a person rather than the information that they're giving. Clearly the information that he's giving is not reliable, because you know, and the whole world knows, and she even goes in to say that those exact same people have admitted to not being it, to being converts, all right, which I don't even know if I can say that, so Slovakia, but I have admitted to not being, you know what, but yet she still says, oh, this guy's a prophet, while she admits that he is wrong in his assessment in biblical prophecy. Okay, so that's a perfect example of people who just don't care about the actual information, but will, you know, agree with someone just because they like them, okay, which is stupid, okay. Anyway, aside from that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Wakwak, Wadash, double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, about Bon Shalom.